Hello, well, today you find me at Cleethorpes Country Park. It's about a 2 hour drive from where I was before. I decided not to stick around at the lake I had discovered because I didn't want to swim in toxic sludge and die. So I decided to go in search of another lake, and I did a little bit of Googling and found what looks like an appealing lake at Cleethorpes Country Park. I haven't yet tried the lake. I haven't yet left the car park. I've found a parking spot in a shaded corner of the car park, but it's quite busy here. There are lots of people milling around. So I've decided to keep my head down and just see if this place is somewhere where I can stay the night. If it is, then I will stay the night here, and tomorrow morning I will explore the park and have a look at the lake. But for the time being, I've just cooked some burgers because I was absolutely famished when I arrived. So it's my first bit of proper cooking per se. And I did that with an audience of several elderly people and a dog. And now the car park is quite bustly. There are people coming and going all the time. It's very busy, but it looks potentially very beautiful. I can see lots of woodland. There are apparently nice dog walks around here, and of course there is the lake. So I'll probably explore all of that tomorrow if I don't get kicked out tonight. But as I say, I'm going to keep my head down tonight and see if I can manage to stay here. Oh, also, on a side note, those burgers that I cooked were absolutely delicious. But my whole van stinks of burgers now, and from experience in my house, I know that that smell's going to linger for at least 6 years. I'm being menaced by a motorbike. It's been following me round. I feel very unsafe. I tried to leave this car park and find somewhere else to park. I couldn't find any other suitable park-ups. It was dark and difficult. I'm back at the park again. Back at the country park. I'm in a different part of the car park. At least I'm facing outwards this time. But there's a guy just outside the van with his motorbike on tick over at the moment. He's been acting very suspiciously all evening, making me very nervous. He had a mate earlier and they were doing figure eights and wheelies and things, so I thought, oh, they're just playing on their bikes and they'll go away. But they seem just a little bit too interested in me. I don't like it. I don't feel safe. There's that thing where your instincts are supposed to lead. You're supposed to follow your instincts and leave if you don't feel comfortable. Well, I left because I didn't feel comfortable. But I've come back because I didn't feel comfortable anywhere else either. So anyway, I don't know what this guy's up to. I've got my doors locked and my van's made of metal, so he's revving again. Okay, I'm going to turn the light out and have a peep out of the window. Hello again. Good morning. Well, last night was interesting. The menacing motorbike people were out in force last night until the small hours of the morning, doing donuts right outside the van, keeping me awake, keeping me on edge. Obviously, in the middle of the night when stuff like that's happening, you don't think, oh, it's just kids having fun. You think, Lost Boys, I grew up in the 80s, so if you don't know what I'm referencing, I apologise. But basically, vampires on motorbikes. So it's kind of creepy. But if it was just the riding around like nutters doing donuts, that would have been one thing. But it was they would stop and switch their bikes off and sit outside the van staring at me, smoking cigarettes, and I could see their cigarettes glowing in the dark. And that was quite creepy. And then I would think they'd gone away, and half an hour later there would be loud revving outside and it would start up again. So it was a little bit intimidating, but in the daylight, obviously, I'm less terrified, and I'm thinking that it was probably just kids mucking about. Either way, I didn't get a great night's sleep. I did get some sleep. About, 2 a.m. it stopped and everything went quiet and I went to sleep and got a few hours. So that was all right. Today, I'm going to have a look round the park, which I didn't bother to do yesterday. Unfortunately, I should have bothered yesterday because yesterday it was sunny. Today it's absolutely pissing with rain. So I'm going to get wet, but I will have a look round the park. I'm going to have a look at the lake, which was the main draw. It was the reason that I came here. And I'll get some shots of that. And then I'm going to do a little reconnaissance mission of the local seaside. I'm going to check out the beach and see if I can find some parking, some safe parking, where I can park up for the night with a view of the sea, because that would be rather nice as well. But we'll play it by ear. It's a horrible day today weather-wise, so I'm not feeling hugely inspired, unfortunately, but I'm going to go out and see what I can see. So here I am in sunny Cleethorpes. It's miserable here. Do you know, ever since childhood, even without having visited the place, I always suspected that Cleethorpes would be a bit miserable. And it is. Of course, I'm not seeing it at its best. If I'd bothered to come out yesterday and look at the lake in the sunshine, I might have had a completely different opinion of the place. But today it's cold and dreary and drizzly. Maybe I'm just a snob. Oh, I'm definitely a snob. It's dreary here. The park was shit. The park was so shit. I'm moving on. Moving on. Meridian Road looks like a possibility. I've driven past it. Oh, this place looks like a possibility as well, actually. Let's have a look. Display. No camping overnight. Sleeping prohibited. Well, that's just inconvenient, isn't it? Very rude. Because this looks like it might be a suitable place. But no camping overnight. They don't like campers. So I'm not going to take a chance. What a bloody shame. Anyway. See, the beach is right there. The beach is right there in front of me. It's tantalising. But this is a very sort of unfriendly car park. It's a pay and display that doesn't want anyone. Lots of penalty charges and things. The beach is right there on my left, looking very beachy. This appears to be a dead end. Everywhere seems to be selling ice cream and donuts. So I'm currently parked up in a pay and display car park with restrictions and no caravans and all that stuff. So I won't be staying here, but I stopped just to make some lunch, and I've just got the kettle boiling, and once that's boiled I'm going to make a brew, and then I'm going to go and explore, and I'll do the pay and display ticket thing and hope that the fact that this is a camper doesn't mean that I can't just park like a normal person while I go and look round. But anyway, I will catch up to you probably when I'm on the move. This isn't too bad, is it? I mean, it's cold and wet and windy, but it's moderately pretty. Well, I found the sea. It's quite far away. Looks like the only way to reach the sea from here is to walk across lots of salt flats, marshes, swamps. Doesn't look very appealing. I'm not scared of going in the water if it's cold. I would have gone in the sea if it was nearer. I don't like long walks, especially across hazardous terrain. I'm not built for walking. And it is bloody miserable here. There is something inherently bleak and depressing about an English seaside town off-season. Unless the sun is shining and there are tourists in bikinis and flip-flops eating candy floss and ice cream, a place like this is inevitably going to be dreary and bleak and depressing. It's the nature of the beast. I'm from Margate. Well, I'm from London originally, but I lived 20 odd years in Margate. And it was exactly the same thing there, even though Margate is on the south coast of England in what's laughably referred to as England's Riviera. Margate is beautiful and very pretty and very cheerful in the summer, but in the winter it's bleak. And well, the north of England, in my opinion, is kind of bleak anyway, and sometimes bleak is beautiful. I've got nothing against bleak, but a bleak seaside town off-season in the rain, it's not making me happy. Of course, the tide's out. Here I am, walking on the beach with wet feet in the sand. And on that note, it's time to end. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you haven't already, you know what to do. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, comment, do all the good stuff. Or don't if you don't want to. And I will see you next time. See you later.